imported from Vietnam. She purchases them directly from the manufacturers, so they have the best pricing in town. Over an acre of pots, furniture, and artwork at the Beach Pottery, located at 17980 San Carlos Boulevard. And we appreciate them supporting the show. Our final guest of this long day is candidate for Fort Myers Beach Town Council. John King is back. And we like to talk to the candidates as the campaign is moving along. And
So would you like some ice cream?
Wow.
And some fudge.
I know.
John, thanks so much to you and your wife for waiting it out. And,
in essence, to get us back on schedule, I'll answer all your questions with yes, 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 no.
Yes.
I need more information.
So first off, easy question, of course. How is your campaign going? I know it's kind of early still because
it's still very early, but it's been very exciting, a lot of fun. As of May 16th, I got in the signature petitions that I needed. They were verified, so that was one hurdle crossed, saved the campaign $504. I'm always about saving money, and that'll help us buy signs. And then that's why I missed the May 16th town council meeting, because I had to be in downtown Fort Myers at the elections office to file those.
I see.
And then in a little over a month, I've raised $4,000 already just in 5 weeks.
Wow.
And I haven't even asked anybody for any contributions. They've just been
Cool.
coming up, giving me money. So I appreciate
And
that.
you can look at John's Facebook page, which is
Elect John R. King for FMB Town Council, or King4council.com is the website.
And if you're wondering if it's too long for you to remember, you can always go to our website, beachtalkradionews.com, and on the top is the word candidates, and all the links to the candidates pages, if they have them, are on that link there. So if you ever forget, you ever want to donate to any of the candidates, you can do it there. Now,
Thanks
I
for
was
that.
checking out the election page. I do it every day to see if anyone else is jumping in the race. There are 2 open seats for the Fort Myers Beach Town Council. Right now, there are 4 people running. The 2 open seats are the mayor's seat and the vice mayor's seat. And you're running, Karen Woodson's running, Patrick Ronco's running, and the mayor's running again. And the question I had for you at looking on the page was, every month you have to file for your financial disclosure of how much
Correct.
money you've raised. And when do you need to file for the month of May? Because I noticed it wasn't in there yet.
Doesn't have to be in until the 10th. I'll be
Okay.
filing mine on Monday when I'm down at
Okay.
the council meeting.
So the 10th of every month, we'll know how much money was raised by each candidate that goes toward the
I think
campaign.
it changes in September. There's maybe the last 3 months, there's 2 months, there's more
I see.
or longer period. I don't remember.
And you're up to
exactly.
4,000 now, and you had 1,500 last month, which was more than anyone
I had
else.
2,600 last month.
Oh, I see. Well, the filing said 1,500, but whatever. You're up to 4,000 now,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask.
Go right
you were
ahead.
You were saying that you like to save money. You want to be fiscally responsible. So going forward, what are some of your ideas that you would implement if elected in that regard?
As I put on my Facebook page the other day, and I was overwhelmed with the number of hits I got for something as simple as, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I'll try always keep 2 questions in my mind. How will it benefit the town? How will it benefit the taxpayers?
So the first question I want to ask was what we found out about this past Thursday night, I guess it was, or Thursday, when the governor signed the budget. He has a line item veto power, and he line item vetoed $1 million for Times Square, which the town manager had been bragging about that he had gotten for Fort Myers Beach. And it was going to be used toward the project down here, which is estimated to be a $3.5 million renovation. There's a lot of issues underground that need to be fixed. And then they were going to do some work to make it look nicer with pergolas and different things like that. So what are your thoughts on something springing up like that?
I was disappointed in the veto, but that's his prerogative. So either the town is going to have to relook at the plan and either do some cutbacks or find different funding. To me, it's as simple as that. And I would probably start by looking at some of the cutbacks. I've seen some of the comments on your website or your Facebook page about that some of the things aren't necessarily needed, like the big sale or and maybe bandstand. How many bandstands do we need in this immediate area around here? There's a lot already.
Well, they don't have any now, except for the one that actually the merchants pay for this one on Friday and Saturday night. But eventually they'll have one here, and they'll have the Bayside Park, and they'll have one at Bay Oaks. So they're all these three projects will have a stage, and the town hasn't really said how they're going to manage that, because right now the merchants manage this one down here.
Right.
But how do you think something like that happens to the town? Is it that our state rep, who is Adam Do Nothing Botana, and then we have
nicer, gentler.
I know, but
just
I mean, is it his responsibility, or is it this guy that the lobbyist that the town pays $50,000 a year to bring that home, and in order for the town manager to brag about the fact that he got it?
I think it's a combination of both. Obviously, you want your state representative and also your senator involved in those things. They should be key players. And if you're paying a person to lobby and that you've had a fail there, then you need to relook at how much you're spending on a lobbyist and who that lobbyist is. But I think your state, just like on the county level, the town needs to communicate and interact with those people on a regular basis, and it should be a good relationship. We haven't seen a good relationship so far lately with Lee County. I don't know either of the elected representatives at the state level, so I would like to get to know them and try to move things in a positive direction.
Speaking of that relationship, did you see the county, the town meeting when Jim Matterholt was mentioning wanting to have a meeting with the county, and then the mayor telling him he was inexperienced? What was your thought on that whole interaction?
That shouldn't have been done in public, I don't think. If you have a disagreement, I'd say something afterwards, but it just seems like, again, I'll just go back to the fact that there's not a very good relationship history, at least. I think Councilman Adderholt's trying to improve that. I think he's making strides in that area. I think Councilman Allers is also as well. He seems to have a good relationship with Commissioner Sanandele.
Right.
Do you think there needs to be more communication or better communication, or what would be the key to improving the relationship there?
I tell you, when I got involved in my condo association running for the board, I'd only been there since November, and by March, I was a candidate, but actually before that, because the March was the election. And one of the key things I figured out by just going to meetings for my condo association is there was a lack of communication and a lack of ownership on who was communicating. So I got on the board, became a secretary of that, and immediately started putting out information on a website we have. I put up flyers in the elevator on our bulletin board. I put my name and my contact information there so I can take ownership. You got questions, come to me, I'll get you answers. So it's as simple as that, I think. But
so let's talk about the Estero Boulevard lights. Who do you think should pay for the lighting now that we know that the county isn't going to be giving the beach any more than the $1.4 million, which was supposed to be set aside for the crosswalks? The county was going to do the crosswalks, and the county was going to pay for it. And after some people on the town council said they wanted more money, the county said no, and they said, here's your $1.4 million, which they don't have yet, but here's your $1.4 million, do whatever you want with it. Should it be the residents of the beach? Should it just be left the way it is? Should you raise the taxes to get lights up? What's the answer?
I'm not sure that I would raise taxes or have the town pay for it. I'm not sure that door is actually completely closed to the county as well. I think between Councilman Adderholt and Allers, they might have some behind the scenes things they can do or are doing, but obviously the most expenditure should come from the county. It's a county road, but how can FPL help out as well?
Are you saying that because you know something, or
No,
you just
I don't know
okay?
something. I just
He's speculating.
I've talked to Councilman Allers. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but again, I think he's got a good relationship with the county as well.
Okay.
And
on Monday, one of the reasons you folks should also watch the meeting is the millage rate will come up for the first time for the next budget, and they'll start the discussion on whether they should raise the taxes on the Fort Myers Beach residents. Should they?
I'm going to go with my no answer that I gave you earlier and my brief synopsis. But I'm always willing to listen if there's a good argument for it. But
what is a good argument for raising taxes?
I don't have one. That's why I'm going with no. I think between the increase in the value of properties already, there's some more money that'll be floating in there for the next fiscal year. You've seen the town have raised the parking rates and the rentals, so there's another over $1 million that was estimated to bring in. So let's go with that and see how that works before we start asking people for more money.
The homeless situation on Fort Myers Beach. Some people think it's bad. Some people say not so bad. Last weekend, there was a fight with 2 homeless folks down here, and a Plaka employee got involved, and there was arrest made. What's the answer to fixing or helping the homeless situation?
I think increasing the police presence on the beach. As a matter of fact, last Friday night into Saturday morning, we had a gentleman sleeping on one of our benches in our garage area that's underneath our building, the main entrance. Down at the south end of the south end at Island's End. He was underneath there. Some people came in late from a flight, got there about 12:30. Thankfully, he was still sleeping and didn't bother them. But by 6 in the morning, he had moved to our front door and was sleeping against that and scared a lady that was coming down to take care of some things. And, I've got a lot of elderly people. I've got some widows in my building. We've turned out a lot of lights for the turtles, and now it's becoming a safety issue. So I think we need to find a happy medium between sea turtle lights and human safety issues. And then I don't want people sleeping on my benches, because for that very reason, I don't know how they're going to react anymore.
Right.
I'm okay with handling myself.
Sure.
I'm a big guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
last week, the way it happened was somebody, one of the homeless guys, pulled the Plaka employee by the hair out into the Times Square area, and that's how that whole situation. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes folks are like, we ran into somebody a couple weekends ago, maybe it was last weekend, that was asleep underneath the bridge, but he seemed totally harmless. We went up and gave him some water. He seemed very nice. And then you just never know when somebody's going to turn violent, and they have every right to sleep where they want to sleep. It's not against the law.
Well, on private property.
True. Yeah, on the beach is what I meant. So let's talk about by the way, everybody, we have 40 nests now, 40 nests. We're 38 yesterday. As of this morning, Turtle Time has let us know there are now 40 nests on Fort Myers Beach. That doesn't compare to what goes on in Sanibel, but that's still
I'm wondering how this
going pretty good.
Storm,
right?
If this had any.
I don't know if the people
impact.
at Lee County saw that Lynn Hall Park was underwater today from that storm. We have pictures of the park and the beach. Sand was sucked out today, and that wasn't even a major hurricane. So we got some pictures to post from that later on.
Fingers crossed that all the nests are good.
Yeah. So let's talk about the tint, the window tint for a minute, because that will come up on Monday in Monday's meeting.
The second reading.
The second reading of the
ordinance.
The ordinance, which will roll back to 45%
for existing buildings.
And that's really the issue that got you springboarded into running for office. One of the big issues, because they passed a 15% window tint, and you live in a condo that if you have to change them all, you have to pay that extra expense and deal with all that. So do you think it's going to pass for the second time on Monday? And
I wouldn't expect it not to, but you never know until it happens.
Right.
So it'll be good to see. And I think there was a great compromise that Councilman Adderholt and Councilman Allers came up with. Stay with the 15% on the new construction, because you know what you're getting when you're buying that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's the problem with putting 15% in? Why not do it?
It was too expensive, for one. There's a limited product. It takes forever. I said it, I think the last council meeting I was at the beginning of May. I've still got a gentleman in my complex that went with the 15%, how much extra it cost him, and he ordered them back in September and still has no product yet.
Wow.
It seemed like Councilman Veach and Chad were saying that they had different information that countered what you were saying about the cost and all that.
I'm not sure where they got their information.
Okay. And so that'll come up Monday, and then you won't have to worry about it until further notice.
Correct.
there. I have to be honest with you. I was a little shocked at the amount of lighting that's left on the beach. I mean, all the way up and down the beach, people violate that ordinance every single night. And it's not just a window that forgets to turn a light out. There's spotlights and they're
You mean outside lights?
Yeah,
that
outside
aren't
lights
shielded?
facing the beach.
Mhm.
There was one building that left it on, and I felt like every resident in that building should just go out with a shotgun and kill all the turtles because it was just crazy the amount of light that was coming off that one building. It was like they were shining on purpose to try and brighten up the nest. I mean, how?
But
I know you guys have been educating these folks for years, like decades. How does that happen?
I think it's not just residents, though. I mean, it's when,
It was a
we've
building.
met with some visitors down here that were completely unaware of the whole, they were shocked about having to, things closing down at 9 and shutting off their light. They didn't understand. So I think you're constantly educating visitors and vacationers to the island. And I don't know, it would be interesting to know what percentage of violations go to, vacation places.
Well,
or
the building
residents.
gets it, right? You don't even have the luxury they might try and spot which window it's from, but the building's going to get it.
We'll actually probably work with Chad and try to identify which units are the violators.
Yeah. I mean, how else are you going to fix it otherwise if you don't know who's violating it?
For the last two turtle seasons where I've been involved with the condo association, I've put up flyers everywhere telling people we need you to comply with this, and I sign it off before my name with the fine you save may be your own.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Now, I noticed a lot more violations were written. Have you heard of any actual monetary fines given yet?
I haven't heard anything on anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I know Chad came down to our end. He looked at one of our security lights, which is on a timer, a motion detector, and but he didn't take the picture from the beach, so I was confused by that. And that's where it gets into the safety issue for me. Also, it seemed to be under the building in our garage area. Again, we have one light on there, and that's where the homeless guy was sleeping.
I see. So
Let me just ask,
Yeah.
in your building, and you may or may not know, what percentage is not full-time residents, but residents, and do you know what percentage gets rented out for vacation?
I don't know the exact percent. The last time I checked, and this was during high season, I think it was like 15% was rented. We have monthly rentals, so it makes it a little easier to control since you see those people on a longer basis.
Right.
So you do get to know the people,
Mm-hmm.
and so we can have a little more better interaction with them. So
when you watch a town council meeting or attend a town council meeting, how do you think you're going to make it any better? What do you see that's going on there that you're going to bring that's going to change it or make it better or make it different?
yes.
All right. Tell them how.
I think I want to listen, and I want to talk to the people that have come up and spoken to the council. I want to know who they are. Did they get an answer during the public comment section? You get 3 minutes, but nobody really does anything during that 3 minutes.
So you're going to change the procedure. You would like the procedure to be changed so there's more interaction.
Information on that sheet.
Yeah.
So I can contact them afterwards. I mean, that's how we got involved with the sea turtle glass thing, was just bringing a bunch of condo associations down and using that 3-minute comment period.
Right.
I think the council was impressed by that. And so obviously realized there was a problem. Now I think coming up Monday, some of the businesses that have business on the beach with their jet skis and things like that are going to be there to get that issue addressed. It's come up before, but they obviously haven't got an answer to it. So it shouldn't.
All right. So other than the communication back and forth with the public speakers, how else would you like to see the government improve, being that you'd be one of 5 plus the town manager running? Well, the town manager runs it based on the way this is set up, but.
Well, I think it might be time to look at finding a new town manager, because this one doesn't seem to communicate. We saw in the lighting issue that you talked about on Estero Boulevard, how many people did we have that were consultants? That what did we get up to, like 6?
they'd
Depending
say
on who you talk to.
yeah,
And one
yeah.
of them was what, a convicted
He
felon?
he was actually a felon who got convicted of
For
bribing a
Right.
public official in, I think it was somewhere in Miami. Okay,
I'm
so
not sure it was Miami,
anything
but-
else you want to touch on there? So you're in favor of a new town manager? You think there needs to be
I think
change?
the time has come. I haven't been impressed with what I've seen. I'll go back to what he said when he got the job, or he was applying for the job. He said that he'd bring everybody together and that he would be willing to communicate with everybody. And yet, obviously he hasn't brought everybody together. A tough task anyway, but I haven't seen the communication there either.
If you are elected one of the two seats, who would you like to see be the mayor after November?
I think Councilman Adderholt would be a good candidate for that. And I also have a strong belief in Councilman Allers. So
Gotcha.
I could be behind either one of those.
So community policing, that got
Mm.
shot down last year. Is that a good question, dear?
That is a good question. Well,
Our
that's
first bell of
yeah.
the day. You don't need to give me compliments, though.
That's
It's
all right.
usually the guests that do.
Well, I just think the community policing, I mean, all of the topics benefit everybody, but the community policing really for visitors and that, I mean, that's
And for
safety
anyone
is
that
the number one thing.
right,
so-
for anyone that doesn't know, community policing is that the Fort Myers Beach would get 2 or 4, whatever the council voted. It's about $120,000 per when it's all in with the salary and the benefits and all
vehicles
that.
right.
And they would be the 2 regular same people that are on the beach, or 4 regular, and that's in addition to the busy times when Lee County sends folks down here because they know it's going to be busy. And it got voted down 3-2 by this council. So your input on that is, how would you vote?
I would vote in favor of it. I think I'd have more people involved than cameras. You can use the cameras, but I don't find cameras to be that strong of a deterrent. They're usually mostly used after the fact.
Right.
But what's disappointed me so far is the fact that coming up on the 9th is a deadline that the town and the county could be involved in with getting federal funds to help support adding police officers.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where is this? What's this about?
It's called CHP. It's a federal program. You have to have it in by the 9th. The application would have to come from Sheriff Mercino's group, but that deflects 75% of the cost back to the feds, and you only have to pick up 25% of that. That could be a split between the county and the town. It could be all county. It could be all town, but that would save a lot of money and I think be fiscally responsible.
So do you think the town is ready for its own police force like Sanibel?
I'm not sure that we're there yet. That's a lot. That is a lot of money, a lot of full-time money. I'm not sure we're there to have ownership of the main boulevard, Estero Boulevard.
You're not sure what?
I'm not sure we're
Okay.
there to own that either.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
think
lot of
that
money.
if you went to Lee County tomorrow and had enough votes, they would give it to you for $1 or less. I mean, if you owned Estero Boulevard, aren't you taking over all the responsibility and the
Yes, you are.
liability? And
And
yeah,
that's-
then you can put your
Maintenance.
lights up, but you
Right.
also the maintenance and all that. So
And-
that'll be interesting to see if that continues after November. I'm reading some questions that people sent in. Dune walkover. If that came up for a vote on the first town council meeting that you were elected to, would you vote to give Eddie and Kurt a special exception?
As I understand the issue right now, yes. I know Councilman Adderholt, when he was on your show, talked about, he knew the other side, and the other side hasn't presented their side yet. So I don't know that side. But I just find it ironic in talking to Eddie that if he's willing to let public access have it, he can have his Dune walkover. But yet,
Well, you mean the town said, right? The
Yes.
town said if
Right.
you make it
So-
available to the entire public, and he just wants it for his neighborhood, which is
Right.
like 9 or 10
Yeah.
houses. I
so,
might have the
mean,
number wrong there.
That tells me a lot there, that it's almost like a personal vendetta.
Yeah.
almost.
Oh, yeah. I think it got to that point
Yes.
at some point. But so you would vote, give him the special exception, and this whole thing. Go ahead.
No, when you think about that though, I don't know if there's a lot of public that would use that
Even if they,
down there because when
you
I've
have to
driven
know it
down
was there.
Well, and where are you going to park to get access?
Well,
So-
people have a tendency to park in our lots.
Oh,
but-
do
Yeah,
they?
Yes.
It wouldn't be as bad though as it is down here in Times Square with these huge crowds.
No,
Right,
no.
no.
But I understand where Eddie's coming from.
Yeah.
that
Well, I wouldn't
It's
want
a-
the
it's a res-
liability of
Yes,
that. Yeah,
that's
right.
it
no.
right there.
That
Right.
Not that I would not want that.
So there seems to be a lot of discussion about bicycles too on Fort Myers Beach, and a lot of the times there's always going to be an issue with a lot of traffic, and the bicycles riding from Times Square to like Red Coconut, because there's really not a bike lane. And the town council has been talking about maybe trying to, even though it's not followed here, you got to get off your bike here and walk it. Do you see any way to enforce any bicycle rules on Fort Myers Beach?
You can, but I got a feeling it's going to be a low priority for those that enforce it.
Right.
I'm going to be learning a lot more about that, because my plan is to get one of those 3-wheeler bikes, put my signs on it, and pedal up and down across
Interesting.
the island. And,
3-wheeler bikes. What is that?
you know,
Motorized? It's
I'm
going to be
kinda old,
motorized?
No.
How
it's
old
not
are
gonna be
How
mo-
old are you?
I'm 64 now.
I see.
But,
Well, that's
you know,
not too old. I mean, the president's
the body's
83 or
kind-
something.
The body's kind of falling apart.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Thank
grew
you.
really quickly.
Thank you.
And,
You want some fudge?
So you're
no,
gonna
but thank you.
you're gonna use that as part of your
Name
campaigning?
recognition
Yeah,
and a good
And
fitness program.
there you
I'm
go.
gonna try and lose some weight.
Now wait.
Get looking like this right
That's
there.
right.
Give me
No,
some
no.
six packs.
We don't talk about weight on this show.
So are there any other strategies you're gonna use possibly in your arsenal of campaign
I'll be
strategies?
going door to door a lot, and I'll be taking
Nice.
my lovely wife, because
And-
that's the biggest asset I've got right there.
Are you trying to set him up for something, or it seems
don't
like
know.
you're?
I helped
Seems
him
like she
out
was-
this morning.
Oh yes, dog treats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Dog
maybe
treats.
bubbles for kids.
There you
Oh
go.
no, that's creepy.
well,
you don't want to
if
do
you
that.
have
Well,
kids,
The
or
dog
if you have
treats.
dogs,
I'll
the
have my
dog-
wife give them.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
your wife.
That'll
Yeah,
be
that's
a lot
better.
less creepy.
So yeah, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
What other issues that are going to be in your campaign that you might want to discuss right now that we didn't bring up?
As I've said before, I would like to hold monthly meetings, maybe at the library, maybe at a different location, maybe at my community room on our association. We've got plenty of parking where people could come, listen to what they have to say, let them know what's been going on at the council if they haven't been watching the meetings or being able to attend. This is what's going on. Let me know what you think. What else do you need? How can I be that person for you?
How much money you think you need to raise for a campaign
I
like
have
this?
no idea.
Yeah.
I thought I was impressed with 4,000.
Yeah, I mean,
but in this day and age, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
lawn signs.
Signs, right? I mean, that's really what
But those only come out 30 days before.
right.
Right.
There's a rule for that. Yeah.
We'll be taking part in the 4th of July parade, so we'll be having our signs on a vehicle there. And
Cool.
How much is the flyover? Like with a
Oh,
with
come
a
on, dear,
plane
stop.
with a sign behind it.
Boy, a banner? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
How many
Yeah.
do you know? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I don't know the answer
Uh-uh.
to this either. You know how many total voters, like how many people on the beach are allowed to vote, registered voters?
Well, you had to get a percent of the registered voters to sign your petitions, and that was 49. So I'm thinking maybe 4,900.
So you
maybe
need
under 5,000.
2,500 votes ish. Who knows what the number is when there are 4 candidates running for 2 spots? How many you would need? Now everybody knows
I
that
might
Bay
have to excuse
Beach.
myself.
Bay Beach actually elects people because they seem to have a huge number of voters in that area. What are you doing to get in front of them?
Well, I've already talked to the head of that association, the EBIA, Jim Domreyes, I believe is his name, and they're looking at having a forum in October. Told him I'd be happy to participate, and if you needed anything from me beforehand, to let me know. I'd be willing to do whatever it takes.
Do you have any other questions for John?
No,
What are
but
you
if you're
doing?
going to excuse me for a minute, because
you
you
doing?
got such a late start, I don't
You
want to
gotta
get a
park, man.
ticket.
I see. You got to
And
go feed the
everything
meter.
is registered under my name.
Go right
and
ahead.
So
You feed the meter, and
that's
I'll
been a
finish up
problem.
with John here, and then we'll tell the frog story because that is a funny story. So, John, tell people that are watching why they should vote for you.
Because I'm a man of my word and get things done. When I came into the condo complex to run for that board, I told them what I was going to do, and people now come to me with their issues. I get it either done quickly, or we'll tell them why I can't get it done and get back to them quickly so they know what to expect. But that's what you can expect from me. Listening board, a man of action, and somebody that will get back to you, somebody you can hold responsible, and somebody that will hold others responsible as well.
And you think the next, the top 3 issues facing Fort Myers Beach are what?
Obviously, the lighting on the Estero Boulevard. Sea turtles is going to be an ongoing issue, but keeping the community moving forward while not raising taxes.
Right. So as of today, you're against raising taxes. You're in favor of the dune walkover.
Yep.
And you're not really sure, as most people are, how the Estero Boulevard lights will be paid for. And you're also in favor of community policing.
Yep.
Anything else?
Thanks for having me on.
John King, everybody, tell everybody again how they can find your donate page, really, because that's that's one of the most
easiest way
important
is
things.
king4council.com, and it'll have a link on there to my Facebook page as well. A little more about me, pictures, and ways to contact me.
Great. Well, John, good luck. Thanks for coming back on. I appreciate you and your wife waiting it out until we got everything figured out here, and we hope to have you back many times before November.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
All right. Good luck. John King, everybody, running for Fort Myers Beach Town Council. Thanks a lot, and have a great weekend, John. All right. All right, Steve, before we wrap things up, why don't you come on over and sit in for Kim before I have to tell this story because it was